The purpose of this resource is to provide guidance for utilizing scaffolds that are embedded in your EL Education District curriculum. Scaffolding is an instructional method that progressively moves students toward greater independence and understanding during the learning process. It is a temporary support that acknowledges what students already know, the barriers they will face in achieving new learning goals, and the instructional support that will benefit them in negotiating these barriers. Throughout this learning opportunity, we'll focus on examples of scaffolds that already exist within EL education lessons, using Lesson 6 from Grade 4, Module 1, Unit 1. An EL education scaffold overview document for elementary ELA grades 2 through 5 can be found in Learning Central under the appendix within each grade level module and in the teacher planning tools for your grade level curriculum. Please refer to this document for additional supports as you plan. The lesson components listed on this slide are where you can locate embedded scaffolds within the lessons and will be highlighted throughout this presentation. It is important not to skip over the introductory teaching notes section of the lesson, which highlights intended learning outcomes for the lesson and offers context within the unit and the module. For example, in this lesson, students continue reading Love That Dog to analyze what happened in those pages and show how Jack felt about it. Students then closely read Dog by Valerie Worth by conducting their first language dive. The poem can be found in the back of Love That Dog. They will identify characteristics of poetry and determine a theme from details in the text. Students will then summarize the poem in writing. The students will have their very first language dive today. This is a time where the teacher and students slow down for 10 to 20 minutes to have a conversation about the meaning, purpose, and structure of a compelling sentence from a complex text, in this case from Valerie Worth's poem. Language dives are important for all students, but especially so for ELLs, as they can increase their language development. The most important part of today's dive is establishing a routine that will be followed all year. This routine will consist of time to deconstruct, reconstruct, and practice the syntax. These levels are flexible and will be dependent upon your children's needs. Preparation is key with language dives. Make sure to preview the language dive guide and have all materials ready. Each lesson provides a selection of supports for English language learners, but teachers should read these notes as these strategies may be helpful to all students regardless of language proficiency. Compare the poem, Dog, and Jack's November 29th entry. Have students draw lines to show similarities and mark out differences that they notice between the two poems. Turn the What Makes a Poem anchor chart into a kinesthetic activity by writing the terms from What Makes a poem anchor chart, and each word from the poem Dog on index cards. Ask students to categorize and sort the words and defend their reasoning. Universal design for learning is a way of thinking about teaching and learning that gives all students an equal opportunity to succeed. This approach offers flexibility in the way that students access material, engage with, and show what they know. Poetry gives students who may struggle with writing a bit more freedom and a chance to see themselves as writers. Emphasize that you are allowed to break the rules of standard English. This includes sentence structure, spelling, and even the way words look on the page. For my ELL students, I like to encourage them to write in their native language. Celebrate any risks that the students might take by writing their own poems. Follow the lead of Jack's teacher and designate a space in your classroom to post student poems. The more vocabulary a student is exposed to during learning, the more likely it is for a student to become a better reader. EL lessons point out academic and domain-specific vocabulary that is taught in each lesson. These words should be recorded on a class word wall for students to refer back to throughout this module. For this lesson, students need to know the words theme, summarize, characteristics, and supporting detail. Scaffolding is an instructional method that progressively moves students towards greater independence and understanding during the learning process. Refer to the EL Education Scaffolding Overview for grades 2 through 5 for additional resources that may provide further support when planning and implementing instruction. As a reminder, additional resources and professional learning videos can be found in Learning Central under the appendix within each grade level module and in the teacher planning tools for your grade level curriculum. If you need more assistance with differentiating scaffolding lessons, you may wish to reach out to the experts in your building. ESL teachers, special education specialists, intervention team facilitators, or contact the central office coordinating teachers assigned to your school for support.